Hey up, how do, and welcome to Loose Lips. This is series 2 and we're on a feature number 5 now. For those of you that are new to Loose Lips, what we did is probably a couple of weeks into the lockdown, I wanted to create something to reach out and speak with people from different walks of life across the globe, engage in their stories and look to be able to instill optimism and share that positive energy to people who come into contact with watching it. Never thought that we'd be at this point. In series 1 there were 47 episodes that were in there, which is mad to think. So you can see all that back catalogue on YouTube. Go to Pop Cult Chic, or likewise on Instagram, go to pop.cult.chic and you can see all the back catalogue there. As we said, we're halfway through series 2 now, going from strength to strength. We've got some incredible chats that are going to be set up for you today. The first one is going to be with artist and yoga teacher Yas Mina, who is in the group. All you need to do is just send the request through and then we'll be able to get it linked and we'll be nattering away once technology does its thing. Also, as well, a heads up with the other guests that we've got today. We've got We've got for you Laura Bartlett at Fort, who's the CEO of House of Cocoa, so it'll be a good chat with her. We had her on a couple of weeks back and that was a real inspiring chat, so we've asked her back, focus a bit more on her mentoring side. Then we'll be speaking with, who we got then? Eddie. Oh, you didn't want to see that? That's my dishes. Why is it showing you that? Oh, this is funny. Hello, you alright?
Hi. Hi. Sorry. I don't know how to make it work.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you enjoying sunshine?
Yeah, man. It's so beautiful. So calm.
Where are you? Hyde Park?
No, I'm in Sheffield. Let me show you.
You?
Just on top of a big hill in
Oh,
Sheffield.
fair. As you do.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, hey, Sean. Hi. Good to see you.
So how have you been?
Yeah, I've been good, man. How have you been?
I've been blessed. It's been an interesting time, but I feel free through it all. I do. It's enjoyable.
Yeah. That's what it's about, and I think we've got to really have no guilt about enjoying it. You know, like I think we feel like lots of people feel quite. I don't know, it's that culture we've got of like needing to be busy all the time. And then when we're not being busy, we get like guilt and feeling all these things that we should be doing. And it's not right. It's not natural. It's not a human way to be feeling, I don't think.
I know what you mean. I think for a lot of people, it's routine, isn't it? And I think for a lot of people to have like a switch up in routine, it can throw people. But I'm just praying that it's given the opportunity to people to maybe just go into areas that they're actually passionate about, or
That's
picking
it.
up new things.
In it, and just connecting into being a human and not doing the structure that's been laid out for us, just creating our own structure. I think that's what this time's about, you know, and just finding a way that's a bit lighter and cleaner and more natural, and not just keeping on doing the same stuff day by day, because I don't feel like it was really going anywhere productive. And it's just that that constant need to be like striving towards a thing, but then if we just stop and do nothing for a bit, it's like, actually, this is the time right now. Like, even I was thinking on, like, when I was cycling here, just the fact that this is called a bank holiday is pretty dark. If you think about and how grateful people are for the bank holiday, it's like now it's a little bit, people have got much more free time and they're feeling a bit like the bank holiday doesn't mean as much. But if you think about it before, it's like, oh my God, everyone was so buzzing just to have a little bit of the time gifted back to them. And you just think, realistically, like, why are we doing that? And why is it even a holiday from the bank? You know, it just doesn't seem like it should be something that's related to being a human.
Is it bank holiday today?
Yeah, man. I just realised on the way coming, the park's around.
That's how out of sync I am with time. I
It's
did
so
not have
nice.
a clue it was
It's
bank
so
holiday
nice
much.
to not even know it. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Fair play. So let's get stuck in a bit more about you then. So how's the creative journey going?
So good. I'm probably loving it now, because I feel like since I've been like I opened a yoga studio a couple of years ago, and since I've been doing that, it's kind of just merged a bit more with like my art's just merged with my spiritual path basically. So it's just kind of become one thing. So I'm using. I can't see you at all, by the way, so I don't know what
You can't
my face
see.
wants to be made. It's just pure sun bouncing back, but yeah, I'm feeling like it's just kind of merged into one thing, and all the things that I'm doing, like just bits of traveling and like journeying around with different just exploring bits of reality basically. So I think it's all kind of come together into one thing.
Have you got your studio? Have you got your art studio in with the yoga place as well? Then have you got it all
Yeah,
under one roof?
so it's just all one thing. So it's like I think it's really, I don't know, it just feels much more natural now. I just like roll off the yoga mat and like draw some stuff. So
You want to spin round if you want to see me on your phone if it's the sun.
it's true. But I still can't really see it.
Is that better?
No, I'm just gonna stay here. I can kind of see you a little bit. That's okay.
As long as you can hear me, that's all good though.
Yeah.
So do you do like the art through the day and stuff?
Yeah, so I just like get up and teach my class, and then I'm working on a couple of paintings at the minute, but I'm just kind of doing it as I feel. Like I think what I've really learned is it's not like if you try to be creative in this like capitalist structure that we've got, and it's like even though you're doing something that's really like free and creative, but because of the society we've been put into, it's like you've got to do it in this specific way that's quite masculine and linear, and it doesn't flow that way. So I'm just doing it when I feel, and like and getting lots more done by doing that, and not trying to just fit into something.
How does that balance with commissions though? If they're giving you like deadlines?
They've just got to be flexible. I just think I just started making myself. It's been like a bit of a journey, like just making myself realistic deadlines and knowing and not putting all the pressure on myself to, and just being honest with people and saying like, yeah, I can do this thing, and it will be the things that you want, but it might just not be the time that you want.
Fair. So what do you give them a bit of a leeway and say like if they're wanting it in 3 months, you like all right, it might be an extra couple of weeks on top, or is it like well you might get it in 10 months?
But no, well that's the thing. Something like 3 months would be, because I think the way that it works, I can just flow with something for like a couple of days straight and then just not be feeling it for like a couple of weeks. So it just, I mean,
Yeah.
it goes. So I think it's just about getting the most out of them times when it's flowing and not distracting. Like just staying in it, staying in that place and not getting pulled away from it. And then it's just more. I just think understanding the natural rhythms. Like as we get a bit older, we just kind of know how it flows and just stay with that.
Have people, your clients, been receptive to that?
Yeah, because I think that's the thing. I've just really put it out to try and and I think the people who like my work and resonate with it are down for that. It doesn't seem to be the types of people who are like, I want it by this time. It's more kind of the people understand the process a little bit, and I think that's the thing that we've got to take control of a little bit is like how do our bodies work better? Like how can we get the most out of ourselves and not be running ourselves into the ground like trying to fit into somebody else's time structure? Because if we want to get the best, and like as a human society, we need the best out of all the humans, and every single person operates differently, and we can't be expecting everybody to fit into one system. It just doesn't work, and that's what we can see like in this time now, and everyone's had hopefully had like a good chance to chill out, so and reset it, rewrite it, and not getting stuck back into doing stuff how we were doing before, because I feel like this is our opportunity to recreate it and come back and define it ourselves, with what works with our natural rhythm and how we can express and explore our creative energies or however we want to express.
I fully agree.
Cool.
I've been asking a lot of people, is this time for pause or reset? But I think you nailed it there. It is definitely reset.
Creating as well, yeah, man. Because I think we've got to really think about, like, as a collective, what kind of reality we want to live in, and just try to manifest that. We can. It's like we've got the power to shape it, or just get dragged back into something. So, and that comes down on an individual level to everybody saying this doesn't quite work for me like that, and not being apologetic about it. You know, just saying actually, I'm going to do it in this way because this is how I work. And if everybody did that on an individual level, I think we'd impact the whole world. You know.
How far along, because you've been doing this for a solid minute now, haven't you? You've been involved in
Yeah.
this for a while, man, and you proper like backed yourself and you've got to where you want to be now, which is sick to see. And it's like, how far into that were you starting to become a bit more unapologetic in, you know, in defining, because you are right, there's no point sticking to a structure if it's not going to be the best for you or them in their overall work.
Absolutely. Well, I think it comes down to like, I mean, to me, yoga's really helped me with that. Like defining and becoming solid and defined in like who I am and what I want. And I think that's what I really try to communicate with my teaching, is that we've got to try, every single individual has got to find that you've got to find your own rhythm, you know, and then try to flow it from there. And if we find our own rhythm and flow and create from that, then we're going to create the lives that we want to live in. Otherwise, we're just constantly churning out and regurgitating the past in ways that don't serve anybody. You know, so I
Let's
think
dip into that a bit more. The rhythm of life, I've always heard, but finding your own rhythm, I've never heard it brought down like that. And that proper, like, my head started going, that makes sense. Like, all the cogs started going, oh, that's a good shout.
yeah, because if you, I mean, every single human's got their own vibration. So that vibration that we put out into the world, we need to resonate that from a place of authenticity. If we're resonating somebody else's distorted frequencies, then we're just contributing to the chaos. But if we're resonating from our solid grounded truth and radiating that, then that's how we're going to be able to evolve, you know, as human beings, and evolve into creating the lives that we want to create. So yeah, I mean, everyone's got their individual vibration. That's the problem with living in a capitalist structure that doesn't really value that. We've like, or well, it doesn't at all value that. So I think we need to get back to finding our individuality, our unique frequency that we've come here to share.
I agree. I think what's mad though, when you think about the rhythm and the rhythm of life, is it's so the post lockdown, the manageable nature of this pace of life with what we feels right with life. That's going to be an interesting. See how those two connect. But I'm with you. I think that there is a proper rhythm of life. Like, I know it's all frequencies and stuff, but I think the term rhythm appeals more. I think people could definitely get behind rhythm more.
Yeah, it's not. It feels natural. It feels intuitive, doesn't it? When you think about it, everybody is moving with their own rhythm in their own way, and we're just trying to find a way that's going to be progressive together. You know.
So, is your art created from that sort of, you know, that place?
Yeah. So I always try to. Well, I do like. I mean, it took me a while to like understand the process, but I think as long as it's a meditation, then what's coming out is from that pure place. You know, I think it's like quite a lot of the time when your mind gets in the way of the process, and and then that's when it becomes just making pictures. Whereas if it's coming from a place of meditation, I know that it's coming from source, and that's when I'm making the best stuff. So yeah, I think it's been a process of trying to clear away the cloudiness of what's going on in the mind, and just coming down to the deep truth of rhythm of your body. Because I think the thing is, with anything creative, we're creating through our bodies, aren't we, in whatever way. So if we feel grounded, solid and clear in the body, then what we're creating is going to be worth creating.
Do you mean like we're creating through the bodies, in the body's the instrument?
Yeah.
I can agree with that. So, you know, when you're doing like your murals and stuff, then like those must take a proper age, and there's such
Yeah.
detail that go into them. It's like, do people come to you and you have to have like a consultation almost, and or do they just trust you to
Well, yeah,
just
I mean,
have free reign?
I like to go and like just get the feeling of the place. Like I went to look at one last week, and I think just to also like see what the people's vibes are and like see what they're wanting in a way. But then yes, I do like to just feel what the energy of it is. But then I think mostly now people just let me get on with it. And also I think I've learned that if I give people too much of a set idea, it just changes too much, and then then I used to get myself in this like tangled process of just of guilt and thinking, oh, this isn't anything like what I said or it was going to do, and then just explaining it away. And I just think, no, I don't even bother with that anymore. It's just like this is the starting point, and then this is how it's going to end up. But I think, and they generally seem to be happy with it, just trusting and letting go. And I think that's a really nice process, you know, just like letting. Because I think if you like somebody's work, you're gonna I mean, if you like where they're coming from, then I think it's not really going to be too
An
much of,
issue.
yeah.
Yeah, you'd think that because they've seen what your work's like, so obviously that's why they've got in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where can people see your stuff? Like, where like if they went on like a Yas mural tour, where should they hit up?
Well, there's quite a lot in Leeds. There's some in Sheffield. There's a couple in London. There's some in Ibiza. I mean, I've not done any murals for like a few years. Let me think. I need to think about where they all are. But I mean, just dotted about basically.
What? So just go on like a Yas Pokemon hunt, just like different murals. What is that one? Is that one?
Love that like, little app.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be sick. Mate, that would be sick if you got loads of different like street artists and that, and you had all their points, and you could just put it on like a street art app
They would
or a
actually.
mural app. Someone can have that.
Yeah.
I'll gift that to the. I'll gift that. It came through, but I know I won't be able to facilitate it, so it's a gift. Whoever has that, you can prop with that. So what have you been doing the past couple of years then? If you've not been doing murals, is that when you've been focusing on your studio more then?
Yeah, I've just been doing. I opened my yoga studio, and so I've just been focusing on that and like going quite deep on different stuff like astrology and doing some different bits of traveling and journeying through some different kind of plant medicines and just exploring a bit of reality. Yeah,
What's the astrology side coming through? I saw on your Insta that you've got Saturn at either side of your name. I was going to ask that, but I didn't think it'd come up, but it's here now. So why Saturn?
because this is, I think, realistically as well, this is something that people need to get to grips with, because I think in our culture we're still living in that trickle down remnants of the witch burnings, where we feel that anything to do with astrology or herbalism or these kind of things is like we treat it with kind of suspicion culturally. But actually it's a science, and we need to understand it because it helps us to understand ourselves and our lives. And if you believe in past lives, it helps us to understand the karmic repercussions of the decisions that we've made in other lifetimes. And I mean, thinking about the planets, they're huge. We know that the moon pulls the water in our bodies. We know that everyone feels different around the full moon. That's generally accepted now. So why do people not feel that the other planets have got a resonance that affects our bodies? It's electromagnetic radiation from the planets. That's all it is. And looking at something like your birth chart can really help you to understand the energy that we've come with and our soul's intention on this earth. You know, I think like I was just looking at something this morning that I just discovered on my birth chart, and I feel like every single time we discover something, it opens up a new kind of awareness to a different side of our consciousness. So journeying into that is really useful for understanding ourselves. Basically, it's a tool for our evolution, and I think this is one of the reasons why it's been suppressed, because I think the less we engage with that side of ourselves, the more kind of obsessed we become with the three-dimensional reality and the superficiality of how things seem, instead of looking at what's going on behind the reality. And I think there's a level of intention there, you know, and it comes from like the domination of patriarchal religions. So I think we need to taking ownership and engaging and understanding your own astrology is empowering. And I think it's understanding the elemental forces that work inside our bodies. So it's self-empowerment and evolution for yourself. So, and I mean, I feel like most people probably want those things.
How do we make that more like in the public domain then? Because everything that you said there was just like tick, tick, tick.
I feel, well, there's loads of ways. So I think just having these conversations, you know, about it, and I think people are getting much more. I don't know. We're having definitely a collective awakening. Like everyone knows, like in all different ways, and I feel that astrology is a really big part of that awakening. And all you have to do is like, there's loads of websites we can go on and do your birth chart. You just need to ask your mum what time you were born at, basically, and get you and work out your birth chart, and then we could go into that, you know, if you want to. I think it's really interesting for everybody to do at this point in time if you've not already done it in your life, because we've just got a bit more space to kind of think about it.
I'm down this rabbit hole. This is what Loose Lips is about. It's like we chat, we see where we're going right now. This is the rabbit hole I want to go down.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, same. And I think loads of people want to jump down that rabbit hole with you. You know, like we need to just kind of help each other to understand these things. And this is the beauty of like social media, really, being able to share stuff and not being oppressed by the algorithms that come from the government. You know, we can talk about whatever we want. So I think we've got to do that.
So, because I've always felt it, and when you look back at like ancient civilizations, that's all they had to navigate.
Absolutely.
And that's I think that's very underrated and like not valued as much in this current time. And when I used to holiday rep in Greece, like the stars were like the way the stars were there, the proper spoke, and it was like I feel like when we live in, I love city life, right? I can't hide it. I'm not gonna be all fronting and go, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a monk and move to no. I'm city life for life. I am, but like I do sometimes consider it that are they not like conspiracy? Calm down, everyone. I'm not going down a 5G rant here. Don't worry, but is like the convoluted like street lights and artificial lights that's suppressing us from seeing the true splendor of the night sky. And I understand it's got to be done because obviously it's a development of a city, so you need that city to be lit up. But I would like some form of like a free space in every city to actually see the clearest skylight. Wouldn't that be cool? You know, like a park where you could go like and you know what I mean? It's got all like the telescopes and everything set up. That'd be sick.
There's a couple of places in England, you know. There's one in near Newcastle, like protected night sky, and there's one in Wales. But yeah, there's not enough.
Oh yeah, I'll just get bus. I'll just get bus to Wales, mate.
You know, but I really feel like the streetlights don't need to be that bright. Like we could, and there's way too many of them. Like, do you remember a few years ago when they swapped them over? It was like a proper shift in our consciousness because before they had that nice orangey glow. You know, those old-fashioned ones. I love those. They were proper like Narnia lampposts. It was beautiful. And
They
like
used to
now,
take a while to warm up, didn't they?
yeah, it was so
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And now it's just like just ridiculous amounts of light. We don't need to be seeing that much at night, and we don't need to. And I think it's part of human like hormonal balancing is that we need to have light and dark. And I think we can't live in this culture where we feel like dark is bad, light is good. We need to, our eyes and our brains need both. So I do think we should. I've got a problem with the lampposts. So
Do you so when I've been speaking with people and it's gone down like a bit of a rabbit hole, so when I've spoke with like nutritionalists, when I've spoke with like yoga teachers or anything that's more on the health tip, the one thing I always come back to, and I'll probably keep coming back to it, and this is how do we give it a platform? Because as I say, like it's all right us speaking about it and this is good and it'll get shared and stuff, but how do we get it more into the public domain? Or am I just like not privy to it and it is happening in circles and conversations?
I think it is. Yeah, I just think we just need it. It's the only way to amplify it is just to speak more, I think, and just like that's how we create change, is just by speaking to each other and creating that space for without judging each other to just talk about stuff.
do you feel that, I mean, do you combine the world of yoga with this practice,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
astrology?
100%. That's where it comes from. Yeah, all my yoga is about where the moon is every day, like where we are in our cycles as women. Well, like it's all interlinked. Like we live in one. Everything's connected in the universe. So like everything, yoga for me draws everything together. It's a journey. So it's got to reflect that. You know, it's not about twisting your leg behind your head, or like I think in the West we've got some kind of distorted idea of what yoga is, and I think it's really damaging because it puts people off a lot, and it's not what it's about. Yoga is about working with your energy and moving through your body, you know, using your body to understand parts of your mind and then evolve yourself, strengthen your energy field, uplift yourself. So there's lots of different. I mean, that's just some of the stuff that's coming to my head right now. But probably it just changes every day. You know, it's not something that is a rigid practice.
Someone's just put yoga with Yas is an experience, not just a practice.
Oh, thank you. I'm ready to take it. You should try it.
I've always
Do my class.
huh?
Do my class. I teach twice a day
Yeah,
every
but
day.
you know what's crazy, right? Is like I know,
Oh, cool.
because like the only thing, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not there for yoga yet.
Okay.
I am for the mind side of stuff,
Well,
and
then
then
you
I
are.
think the other bit had come, but I
It doesn't
just
matter what your
not the
body does.
whole
If
in
it's
linen in a room with people. Like,
No, but this is the beauty about doing things online now. You can literally just have your camera off, be in your room, be in your space. You don't have to think, don't have to worry about who else is in the room or who else is there. So you could just, and if you hate it, you can just shut your laptop and do something else.
just,
Yeah.
just like, where's he gone? Where's he gone?
Yeah.
I had some mushrooms other week, and I did that on a Zoom call. It turned from everyone just being all chill to they're all looking.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't like to have the technology near me with mushrooms, but that's nice though. I think it is. It's giving people a bit much more like um, ownership over their experience of stuff. Like I'm really enjoying teaching yoga online, and I thought I'd hate it, but I think I find it easier to just drop into what I need to be saying and what I need to be doing, rather than um, becoming, I don't know, involved with other people's process.
This seems like it's leading the charge for you at the moment. You know, I thought that the convo would lead a lot more about your art because that's how I know you from in that world.
Yeah.
But it definitely seems like, even though that's still important to you, that this is now what's the main focus of your being. Is that correct?
Yeah, I suppose I'm kind of, yeah, I think so. And like my art is still there; it's still a part of. But I think I'm kind of just following where the yoga's going because it's opening up all different kind of interesting things. I feel like I'm learning. Not that I don't with my art, but I think that with yoga, because it's much more like I'm sharing it with other people. Whereas with my art, I'm on my own. In my process for days and days and days, which I love still. It's like it's amazing, but I think it's nice to be able to share that with other people.
You seem super zen. You seem like it's proper having, and the sun's like flickering behind you. Look like, you remember those like flowers that you could blow and make loads of different wishes, like as the. You look like one of them.
Yeah, I'm feeling calm. I love it out here. It's beautiful, and I just feel like, yeah, I really do feel so chilled, and it's just really nice having all this time to just be by ourselves and like just read and chill and paint and stuff.
So what do you know with astrology then? I'm guessing that it'll give you patterns of your own process, which then obviously you can look to unravel if you want to change them. But does it also give stepping stones for the future?
100%. So one of the things I was looking at this morning is like there's a aspect in astrology called your north node and your south node, and that gives you a description, like it gives you the information of where you're coming from with your past lives and what you need to evolve through in this life. So yeah, you can look definitely go into the North Node and South Node, and also looking at Pluto is really interesting because that helps us to understand our past lives and our karma. So yeah, and I mean, if anyone's on that journey of wanting to like understand that part of like your evolution, then definitely like astrology's got loads of tools for us basically.
Does it say a future just for you personally in like the steps taken, or is it society as well? Like, can you see a couple of patterns that could play out post lockdown?
Absolutely, like we've got a collective part to play in our evolution. So yeah, and I mean, if everyone jumps on board and like engages with it, then that's going to affect the collective. And also we've got like, I mean, if you zoom right out and think about where humanity has come from and where humanity is going, like we've obviously reached a real pinnacle of patriarchal kind of destruction, and we need to be switching. I mean, we need to be loving the earth. We need to be coming back into more loving female kind of ways of approaching our lives and ways of thinking about how we want to exist as humans. So I think that if we engage with the astrology in terms of the fact that we're all switching from basically we're moving from a patriarchal system into a matriarchal system, but that's going to take like hundreds of years really. But I mean, if we all just do our little bit, it's going to help. Yeah, definitely. And we need to just start loving the earth a bit more.
So where can people get started
Okay,
with their own research, like stepping into it?
So I think a really good thing to do is if you're interested in these kind of principles, it's just like do online. There's a really good website called Cafe Astrology, and you can do your birth chart, and it's a really good website. And then if you don't understand the kind of planets, you can there's loads and loads on YouTube. There's loads of things. If you a good place to start is just understanding the moon in your birth chart, because you don't really want to. I mean, at first I think it can feel like loads of information, but if we just understand the sun and the moon, like everyone probably knows their sun sign because that's like what we generally know. Like you're born under your main sign that you associate your horoscope with. So yeah, just understanding the sun and the moon. So the sun is, and they correspond to yin and yang. So the sun is our outward characteristics, like how we express ourselves, how we put ourselves out into the world, generally speaking. And the moon is our inward world, so like our emotions, how we respond and how we feel things, our intuition. So it relates to the masculine and feminine energies inside ourselves. So we've both got male and female inside us. We've all got male and female inside us, and we need to understand how they like play out in between the dynamics and how that shifts, and just even understanding how the moon works, and then you start to understand how your emotions can change and shift through the moon cycle. Like that's just a really good way for us to start to connect into that energy. Yeah.
Do you do readings?
Yeah.
So if anyone is wanting a reading from yourself, how do they get involved?
Well, you could look on my yoga page and then have a little look on there. But also I do full moon so like kind of group so it changes. I work with the astrology of the specific moon. So like for this last full moon, it was a full moon in Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about that kind of. It's got Scorpio is really dark, deep, intense. It's got a real kind of sexual power play, manipulation kind of energy going on. So we did like some yoga to kind of work into releasing some of those blocks, and then some drumming to like, because drumming is really powerful to like shift away anything that might be like sticky. So just clearing. So we basically work with the specific astrology every full moon and every new moon to harness it and bring it in.
So what's the details of your site? Where can people find you?
So my yoga studio is called Glow Yoga Studio. The website's called glowyogatribe.com. And yeah, there's loads of stuff on there. We're just doing like different blogs about different astrological movements and what else? Yeah, this week we're doing a chakra cleanse, so we're kind of journeying into one chakra per day and understanding how that um like resonates in terms of our lives, like if we've got blocks there and how we can clear it, basically. So today's the first day, root chakra, so it's nice to be outside and getting grounded. Like the root chakra is all about being in the earth and like feeling that connection into the ground. So yeah, it's going to be a nice little week.
I was going to ask that, and that leads on. How do you get prepared for each sort of workshop and class?
Well, so for this, so do you mean for like the full moons, or do you mean for like the I
Well,
mean,
you know, like just then you said that you've got a root chakra one, and it's good that
yeah,
you're grounded. So you're almost
yeah,
like preparing yourself and getting yourself in that space to be able to
yeah.
present later. So with the other ones or any workshops, how do you do the research before to get yourself in that state? Because it's obviously a learning stage for you as well, but you've got to learn, process it, and then articulate it back to other people.
It's like I mean, I've been working with this for like quite a long time now. So I mean, it's not. I mean, I started doing yoga like 14 years ago, and so I've kind of like it's like the knowledge stuff. You can't obviously you keep learning stuff, but I think now it's more about just preparing like myself in terms of feeling calm and just not worrying about too much, getting the information out and just trusting that the stuff's going to come out that needs to come out. But also for the people doing the chakra cleanse this week, we're doing like I'm writing some information and just sending that out, so just like a little kind of background to each energy center and how we can strengthen it, and then and like working to embody that in the practice. So we're doing 2 practices a day to try and really get into it.
It feels like what you could do. I've put this to a couple of people, but this one's got a bit of a slant on it. So it feels like there could be a combination of the spiritual teachings with your art almost in a book. But what about like a colouring book?
I'd love
Because
that.
colouring's proper calming.
So calming, in it, and so like, yeah, I'd love to do that. That's a good idea.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yes. That's the gift. That's the gift. Well, mate, honestly, like I've proper enjoyed this. Like I thought we'd been hearing more about the art and that, but as soon as I seen that rabbit hole, I'm like, right, this is where we're taking it, and I'm buzzed about that because there's a lot of like wisdom that's just poured out there, and I'm proper intrigued by the astrology side of it.
Cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I'll send you some links of stuff if you want, and then just some, yeah, if you want to join, obviously, and like I'm doing the full moon will be next week. It's a full moon in Sagittarius, so that's my sign. So it's like fiery energy. But I mean, I've not kind of set in stone what we're doing, but I'm gonna just see what develops this week. But yeah, I mean, I do have a new moon every full moon, so just come.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think the best way to learn stuff sometimes is just by doing it. You know, like I feel like we can get really weighed down with trying to absorb all the information, but I think the best way is just to do it.
Fair.
Yeah.
That is the wisdom that I'll take. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, send me some stuff, and I'll put it up with when I post this up as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Take care, my lovely. Enjoy the sun. Looking radiant.
Have a beautiful day. Bye, darling.
Bye.
Bye.
There you are, speaking with Yas Mina there. And yeah, I thought we'd be discussing more about her art because she's an incredible artist. Like, there's a lot of murals that have been done, as she was saying, various places on the planet, but mostly like around Leeds as well. So you've probably been in a venue where her art's been and thought that's incredible, but probably not known the artist to who it is. But to where her now, like focusing more on the spiritual side, but especially the astrological side and there and its benefits. I felt it. So that's one that I'm going to be delving down a bit more as well, and maybe use will as well. See if we can unlock some things and help progressing the planet and the universal state to a more equal playing field on this planet. Definitely what I'm in this for. So yeah, this is Loose Lips. I'm Ben Random, and we've got a chat coming up at 4 o'clock, which is going to be with Laura Bartlett. We spoke a couple of weeks back, and she's the founder and CEO of House of Cocoa. So we're covering off a touch of that again, but mainly speaking with her about mentoring and speaking, because what came out of that chat is just how passionate and inspiring a lot of what she had to say was. So we're going to be focusing on that as well. So yeah, join us at 4 for that chat. Other than that, peace and light. See you in yours.